Hi, amazing souls. Now, the Sustainable Development Goals Summit 2023 is about to happen, and as persons with disabilities, you're getting ready to have a campaign so that our voice will be heard by the representatives that will take Kenya there. Okay, so we are going to learn at the site savers offices how to run this campaign successfully. Please join us, support us by signing the link on the description box for our petition. Thank you. Come with me, your blissful soul, Katrina WW Forward.
Three issues were highlighted. There's the issue of education, there's the issue of health, and there's the issue of economic empowerment. It is not to say that there aren't other issues. Yes, there might as well be many other issues, but when you ask the youth to prioritize and sequence, that's how they felt on those three key issues. Uh, Saint Savers, we are a global organization working to eliminate avoidable blindness and promote the rights for persons with disability. We are very delighted that about 2 months ago, we celebrated 70 years in Kenya. So a 70-year-old man is a man with a lot of experience. So we are glad that over the years we've been able to accumulate valuable experience. So we work in two key areas. The first area that we work in is around health equity, where we protect it and fight neglected tropical diseases. And the second area is around inclusion, where we focus on inclusive education and also economic empowerment and political rights of persons with disability. Then the Equal World campaign is something that Sight Savers has been running with. So Sight Savers has been having a global disability inclusive development campaign, which we launched in 2019. And so far we have 42,000 campaigners from 148 countries. As we all appreciate, Kenya is always a key global player. And the key reason why we have this particular group, we would also want to see campaigners from Kenya coming in and being able to play our part at the global level. If we think of campaigns which have been done and undertaken by people in the past, most likely none of us participated in the fight for independence. So the independence of Kenya was fought by others and won, and that's why we are celebrating the freedom and the liberties that we have. We were not there during the era of slave trade. So slave trade, and we are calling it participation in the Equal World Global Campaign, the promise in peril. This is for two key reasons. One, we all know that there's a UN summit which is coming up in September, and we'll have political declarations and political commitments from world leaders, including Kenya. So we want to remind all these global leaders of disability inclusive development. We already know that we are past half mark. SDG started in 2015. Now we're in 2023 with only 7 years to go. So we've done almost 8. And we know that we are not where we are supposed to be. And there was a remark which was made recently that if you're not on the negotiating table, then you're on the menu. So we don't want disability rights to be on the menu. We want it to be part of the negotiating issues on the table. And that's why we are participating in this particular campaign. The second component of it, apart from ensuring that our voice is picked up at the global stage, that locally there are issues that we want to push on around SDG 8 and around economic empowerment. And that's why specifically we've picked on the youth with disability, because we do know and appreciate that issues of economic empowerment are issues close to our hearts. Then the how, for the global campaign, we already have a social media toolkit, and Alan is going to be taking the team through it with assistance from Anne. So there are a number of 3 options. The tools are already available online. So I would request Anne to click on that particular link. And if you're able to click on the link in the presentation. For options in the social media toolkit. Let me also open the same so that we can. So we have, if you click on how to get involved, it will take you to share our post option 1. And if you click on that, share our post option 1.
We are there, Moses.
Yeah, thank you very much. And the option 1, we are saying that the call for equity is not a polite request. It is something entrenched within our constitution. It is something enshrined within the CPRD. So we are saying that people with disabilities have an equal say in the process that affect their lives. And we join the Kenya government to uphold disability rights and ensure that no one is left behind. The key reason why we want to drum up this particular campaign in Kenya, because Kenya is a regional champion in all ways. So we want to ensure that not only our voice is heard, but we do so on behalf of other countries. And there is a link where we can see that we demand that people with disabilities have an equal say in the processes that affect their lives. And this one, we can download the image for use in our social media. The second option that we have is around a rescue plan to make sure that people with disabilities are included in the vital progress. And we are calling for each and every person in this particular room and beyond to sign our petition for governments to take action and again ensure that no one is left behind. And there again you can see the picture which you can download image for social media. The last option is where we can say that I've signed the Saint Savers petition to make sure that the world leaders do not leave people behind with disabilities from the vital process of the SDG in September, and will you join our rescue mission? Each one of us seated around the table is an influencer in one way or the other, and when you sign, you're able to encourage your friends to join in both the global campaign that you're going to be running and the local campaign, which is going to be speaking to the issues which are then specific to us. And then you can see there are a number of things of what you can do. Is that sharing our posts on social media will help us influence governments and decision makers worldwide. Then number 2, we are talking about strength in numbers. The more voices we have, the further our messages are going to spread. And have you been able to see number 2?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. And the global impact is that when our messages reaches key decision makers, they can enact vital policies that can change lives. So we want to amplify the voices of the Kenyan youth and give them a platform to raise issues which are then relevant to them. So now again, if we go back to my presentation, we've dealt on the how for the global issues. Then the last one, we come to the how on the petition signing. So the petition by itself is very simple, and this is a strapline which we can use in our social media. Again, we can use it in our WhatsApp Again, we can use it in our email messages. And again, and if you click on the link on that particular, you scroll down, you can see how to sign to our petition. It's simply the name, the person, and the country. And I'm sure from this particular group, if each one of us was able to target at least 500 people, we can have this petition signed by at least 10,000 Kenyans, and that will help us amplify our voice for both the global petition and the local issues which Alan is going to be speaking to. We do know that one of the key issues is around access to capital for the youth. We have the Hustler Fund. There was a commitment which was made around ensuring that part of that particular fund is reserved for persons with disabilities and to help in enhancing employability of youth with disability. We also do know that there's an issue of jobs in certain countries, and here we are talking about well-protected jobs, and there was a commitment of jobs in Europe in places like Germany, and all we are asking as government considers the other youth. We would want to see a quota reserved for youth with disabilities. We want the youth with disabilities in our country to be on the negotiating table and their issues to be highlighted. We now move on to the last slide, where again we've got a photo of children. The good thing, if we all remember the days when we were much younger, we were always happy. Not that things were any different from they are now, but children have a certain radiance of brightness. They remind us our authentic self, that when we are happy and positive, we are able to attract and influence positivity. So I believe we can. Will you join me to be part of this particular campaign? I now welcome any questions that you might have.
Gentleman there mwenye amevaa he said that he creates campaigns on Twitter. So could you kindly take us through the process that you use to create some of this content on Twitter and some of the advocacy strategies that you use on Twitter, so that also who are in the room can be able to learn from you?
Okay, so thank you. So how do you create a content through Twitter? First of all, you come up with a message, key message that you want to portray. And you come up also, you can share through a photo whereby you come up with a hashtag for it to go viral, because Twitter is broad and many people, you can reach anybody in the world globally, because it can trend. So what we do, we come up with the content whereby we key in message. After keying message, you come up with the hashtag that you, based on thematic area you're focusing on, a short hashtag, not long, but precise, at least somebody can understand. So once you're done with that, now we tag along. In the statement, you can tag 2 or 3 people, but majority you can tag in the photos, whereby you don't tag, because once you tag many people in the statement or in the content, it loses value. But once you share the key, for example, you're targeting United Nations or you're targeting the Kenya government, for example, you can tag in the statement or in the content, you can tag 2 or 3 organizations, but in the photo now, there's a add people or add, you can tag people. That's where now you tag more than at least maximum is 10 people. So you can tag along all those people, the key stakeholders, those people maybe having influencer. And then two, one of the campaigns that we were able to run is the Anja Revolution. It was advocating on the issue of the high cost of living, whereby we use that tool to spread propaganda. Propaganda is not negative. It can be positive, it can be negative, but you can use through propaganda, whereby you share your content, you tag along. If it is, you want to target the ministry, you want to target the Kenya government, there's that State House, there's the Treasury. That's how we did our own campaign until we were suspended because the government felt like we are showing the world what's happening because in terms of the high cost of living. So we have been in JA Revolution has been one of the more successful stories that we are able and campaign that we are able to use until we were suspended by the Twitter through the Kenyan government. So, but we are glad through Transparency International we were able to get back our accounts. But it is one of the best tools in terms of advocacy campaign.
Thank you very much. And he has basically summed up the whole training that we were even going to talk about on creating a successful social media campaign. And every social media user, yes, it feels sad when your account gets suspended, but it's also a joy, true or false? Because when it gets suspended, then that means that somebody is listening, somebody is watching. Because if they are able to act and say, this account has to be suspended, then you are doing something that is able to communicate to whoever you are communicating to. He talked about tagging people in our content. If we are going to use SDG number 8 as our base for our campaign, who do you think are the key people that we should be tagging in our content? Who do you think should be the key people that will be tagging in our content? And we are saying that we are promoting a sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. Who are some of the people that we should include in? Yes.
Employers.
All right, employers. That's one of them. Yes.
Government agencies.
Government agents. Could you be a little bit specific? Yes, government agencies. But could you break it down a little bit? Yes.
Kotu.
Kotu. All right. Who here does not know Kotu? Kotu is. Could you tell us what Kotu is?
Hai, wanajua. Ukisikia hatuoni mshenzi.
Francis Actually.
Mshenzi.
Yes.
She's expanded on it. NCPWD.
All right. NCPWD is one of the agencies, but there is one agency that you're not mentioning, which could also be very important. Let's start with Mesha.
Ministry of Labor.
Ministry of Labor, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Ministry of Labor will be very important, yes, sir. And other persons with disabilities. As we understand, as we are in this industry,
Yeah.
and they are thought leaders in this industry.
Yeah.
So if we are able to enjoin them in our campaign, then it adds something that is very important to any campaign: credibility.
Mm-hmm.
Because also the kind of people that you tag, if I look at that piece of content, I'll be like, okay, who are you tagging? They're tagging site savers, okay, that is a key player in the industry. They are tagging the Ministry of Labor, that is a key player in the industry. And they are also saying they are tagging UDPK, hypothetical.
Yeah.
Then you say, okay, that is the umbrella body for persons with disabilities. Then this is a message that I should be able to repropagate out there in the community so that I can amplify it, so that as many people can be able to be reached that by that key information. Cindy, there is something else that he said that I would like to mention about tagging people or adding people on photos. And this is why we have a group. Yeah. So as we are putting out our content out there, say on Twitter, we'll be able to tag ourselves onto those posts. Because once we get tagged, then we'll be notified in our notifications. Then we'll be able to share that key information so that it can get to as many people as possible. One of the key things that we want to achieve in this campaign is us being able to own this campaign. As you've heard, site savers have been very keen. It is not them who are leading this campaign. They are facilitating us, Cindy, to be able to lead this campaign. So there is nowhere that you're going to say site savers is saying do this and this and this, but it is going to be that youth with disabilities in Kenya are saying, could you take more action onto this particular to this particular issue, because also one of the things that I would say that their campaign got to be successful, the government saw that there are so many people adding on to this particular subject matter that they got so pressed that they even needed or felt the urge of doing what? Of reporting that account and having it deleted. There is something that you also mentioned about hashtags, and one of the hashtags that we'll be using is hashtag equal world, because we are striving for an equal world, Silvio,
Yeah.
and that would be the key hashtag that we'll be using in our campaign. But also trends change, Silvio. We'll also be looking at what is trending in the disability industry that will also be able to tag along, Silvio.
Yeah.
If we are conversant with the disability industry, what month are we in? We are in July, right? And what happens in July? Ah, give me a high five. Give me a high five. Give me a high five. Yes. Yeah. Help me here.
International. Is it international?
No, yes, it's international. It's international, but she has said it. Every July, it is Disability Pride Month. So if we say that we are going to launch our campaign in July, what are some of the key hashtags that we should be using?
Disability Pride Month.
Absolutely, because everybody in the world who deals or who gets to interrogate or to sort of acquaint themselves with that particular hashtag, they'll be able to get our message. So we have two hashtags already. We have hashtag equal world, hashtag disability pride month. Then he has said rightly that you would need about 3 hashtags to make this campaign or to make this information or to make this content go viral. Let us use the word viral, because she will tell you, if you do not go viral, then probably you've not enjoyed what social media is all about. What do you think would be our third hashtag we would use to make our campaign go viral, or to make as many people as possible to watch and see our campaign and take action? Any suggestions?
Opportunity.
Hashtag.
Hashtag opportunity, but not sympathy.
Hashtag opportunities but not sympathy. That is a good one. Yes.
The two that are really trending around the PWD community. Nothing for us without us. And no one should be left behind.
All right. Those are also very important. Any other guess? Yes.
Accessible employment.
Accessible employment. Now, as far as I am concerned, all these hashtags are relevant. Cindy?
Yeah.
But there is one key thing that we should not forget. This is a campaign that we are doing that is geared towards the SDG Summit. So in whatever we do, we should have hashtag SDG Summit 2023, so that anybody, any organization that is looking for information about the SDGs, they can also find content from Kenya that is talking about the SDGs. Not to say that your hashtags are not important, but also we must think strategically, because as he said, Twitter, we have few characters. Yeah, we have, is it 250?
Yes.
On an unpaid account? We have 250 characters, and not 250 sentences. No, 250 characters. I am Alan Hubbard. That would already be 50 characters. So we need to use those 250 characters very constructively and creatively. So in a campaign that we'll be launching, in the posts that we'll be using to launch our campaign, we've said we'll have 3 hashtags. Hashtag equal world, hashtag
No. Disability Pride Month.
Then the last hashtag would be
SDG Summit 2023.
I love this class. So that means if we go into August and Disability Pride Month is over, then we look at what is trending in August. That is pertinent to disability. Sindio? Then that is how we'll be rolling. Very important. Kwa sisi wale wetu tulikuwa tunaandika insha 1,000 words, we can do that on
Facebook.
Sindio?
Yeah.
But as Walter said,
And you can also do it live.
and that's where I was going. But I was going to bring it in the point where we said you can do videos. The world's biggest stories, Yeah, the world's biggest stories. And I can name one so that you could also share some examples that you might know. Who remembers the Arab Spring in 2007? Is it 2007? Around 2007, 2010? Historians, help me. We remember the Arab Spring? Okay, let me be specific. Remember when Muammar Gaddafi was ousted out of office and murdered? That story was broken on Facebook. Before any media house got word that Muammar Gaddafi was ousted or was murdered as the accounts happened, that news was already on Facebook and it had went viral. One of the other stories that we would remember from our day, who remembers the Black Lives Matter campaign?
Yeah.
We all remember? That story was broken by a 19-year-old girl who was just holding her iPhone and she went live on Facebook. Yeah? So that means that if we also tap into that energy, if we also tap into that resources, as many people as possible can get to hear the voices of persons with disabilities. But we need to be strategic about it. Because as we also understand, social media is very crowded. As I am planning to put out a post, 1 billion other people are also planning to put out posts. So we also must be deliberate on how we are putting out our content. There is the newest kid on block in creating content in the social media platform, TikTok. Who can share some pointers on TikTok? How can we create content on TikTok?
TikTokers.
Who are the TikTokers here?